My grandma almost killed me twice in the same car ride. My freshman or sophomore year of high school, I had my temps at the time, and my parents are out of town on a cruise. It's towards the end of the school year, so my grandparents are watching me and my siblings. My grandma is driving me to school. My grandpa's taking my other siblings to school. My grandparents had this, I think it was like a 2005 Toyota Corolla. They kept it so clean. Like, that's just how my grandpa's always been. Like, he'll drive a vehicle into the ground mileage-wise, but he'll keep it so clean cut and up to par mechanically so my grandma has a reliable vehicle. And I love my grandma to death. I love Nana. If you ever watch this, I love you to death. But all my family members will say this. It's not a jab at female drivers. It's not a jab at my grandma. She is a pretty bad driver at times. So we wake up that morning, and I have a Spanish exam that if I don't pass this Spanish exam with like an A, I'm not even passing the class. So that's the stress level that I have going into it, knowing we have a 30-minute drive up to school, and my grandma, a 30-minute drive will take my grandma about 45 minutes. So I'm like, Nana, we got to leave the house. The 75 in rush hour traffic going into Cincinnati from Kentucky. We're not even 5 minutes into the drive. We get on the entrance ramp to go north on 75. She's not going above 40. And I'm like, holy shit, what's going on? I watch her. She's hammering the accelerator. We're not going above 40. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm looking back like, oh my God, there's a semi coming. Oh my God, we're not accelerating fast enough. Like, I'm screaming. I'm like, Nana, you gotta go. And she's like, I'm trying. It's not moving. And she's screaming, trying to get the thing to go. The semi honks its horn, blows by us. My grandma slows down, slams on the brakes, cuts behind the semi. Now we got more cars coming behind us that are swerving around us because we're not going above 40. And she's hammering the accelerator. She's like, I'm not sure what's going on. Looks down. The e-brake is on. The e-brake. And everyone knows if your e-brake is on, you can usually tell when you're driving, but there's also an indication on the dashboard that the e-brake is on. Now, I will say in that note, I was the one that put the e-brake on. I had my temps at the time. I wanted to drive with my temps. The night before, I had driven up to Subway with my grandpa, and my dad had always taught me with older cars, you just put the e-brake on if you're on any type of hill or something. Our driveway had a little bit of a hill, so I put the e-brake on. My grandma doesn't check it that morning, so she's on the highway with the e-brake on. There's cars whipping it out of us, and she goes, oh my God, the emergency brake's on. She throws that thing down while she's still throttling the accelerator. She puts the e-brake down. We jut forward, like, whoop, and now we're up to 70, like that. And she's like laughing. She's laughing at me. I'm like, holy shit, that was crazy. But I'm laughing at the same time because I'm like, even though I'm sweating, my adrenaline's rushing because we just had like 3 cars and a semi whip around us because we were only going 40 on I-75. It was one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. So we settle in. She's got her music going. This is a whole other funny thing about my grandma. She will only drive 65 to 70. Like if she's at 70, she's topping out. Like she must have had a couple cups of coffee. In her mind, that's Dale Earnhardt speed, right? Like she's at 70 miles an hour. That's absurd. Until she puts music on. If my grandma's listening to her music like Elvis and the stuff that she likes from the 60s, you're suddenly at 85, no question. She's not even looking at the speedometer. Now it's a totally different driver. So she gets her music going, and we're like 10 minutes ahead of schedule. I'm like, this is great. I'm going to get extra time to study my Spanish exam once we get to school. We go up into northern Kentucky again. We're in that traffic, moving kind of slow right by like Fort Mitchell, Beechwood area. So I'm like, hey, Nana, just get off at the Fort Mitchell exit right here. So she gets off at the Fort Mitchell exit. Light turns green. We hang a left, and I'm like, we're home free. We're 5 minutes from my high school, Cuffcath, where I went at the time. I'm like, everything's going to be fine. This one wasn't even her fault. But Dixie Highway slammed at that time of the day, like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday or on a weekday. Like, it's packed. We're coming down Dixie Highway. This electrical truck and trailer, big old truck, whips out right in front of us. My grandma as we're coming through an intersection at Dixie Highway. So there's like 3 different areas where cars can be coming from. My grandma has to slam on the brakes. These 3 cars behind us have to whip around. This electrical truck pulls out in front of all of us. So there's a boom, fender bender happens right next to us. People are slamming on their horns and brakes, swerving around. This big utility truck whips out, swings out in front of like 6 cars, and takes off towards 75. And my grandma's like, holy shit, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Hang on, Thomas. Like, slams on the brakes. Cars are whipping around us. Fender bender happens. Truck takes off. And my grandma's like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. She's like, thank God. And then it takes me to school. So that was my morning driving with my grandma. That was all one trip. That was a 20-minute trip up to high school, and then I went in and failed my Spanish exam. I'm not blaming my grandma for that part because I had no clue what I was doing in Spanish that year. But oh my gosh, that was one of the one of the craziest things that's ever happened. With that being said, I recently wrote a short film script about my grandparents, and I have a company that's willing to produce it. Cincinnati Filmmakers is the name of the company, or local nonprofit production company. And I'm just so thankful because my grandma is actually going through a lot of health stuff. She had a leaky valve in her heart. Just basically her heart wasn't pumping blood properly, and had a procedure that basically didn't work. And my grandma just doesn't want to have any more surgeries, and I get it because like at her age, with her condition, they could either give her open heart, which at her age, they said is like a greater risk of her not living through an open heart surgery just because of the weakness of her heart. And and my grandma now, she's got basically has a heart condition that she had surgery for. After the surgery, she had a stroke, and she just is afraid to go back in for another procedure. So basically, she's kind of decided to hang it up, and that means that with her heart condition, she, as long as she takes care of herself, she might have, not that much time left. Is the kind of the best way to say it, and I guess the reason I'm telling you all that is like I know that it feels like you have forever, and it's easy just to turn down family events when you're younger. Because I get it, like especially in high school and college, I would rather go hang out and party with my friends and spend time with my family. But I would say to everyone out there, if you're at an age where you've developed that consciousness of like, I'm not really sure if that person's like a true friend to me, or I'm not really sure if that's the type of things that I want to be doing and spending my time with. Find what makes you feel whole, like what really makes you happy. And that's not just events, that's the people, your hobbies. Like you really have to, I can't stress that enough. Just push yourself to find what you really enjoy doing in life. Because like for me, I don't think a lot of people of my age that I hang out with understand that like I'm not blowing you off because I haven't answered your text in a couple weeks, or like I'm not answering your calls or whatever it is. I think a lot of people are like, man, that guy Tom, he's going ghost. It's really like, what does this dude have a problem with me? And it's like I don't have a problem with anybody, but when things are happening in your life with your immediate family, especially when you're very close with them, it's like that's just who I want to spend my time with. Like I don't know how many days I have left with my grandma, so if I have an opportunity to go hang out with my grandma, I'm going to hang out with my grandma because that's somebody who has taught me so many things in life and has shaped me. I feel like in certain ways in my life that she's had an impact, and I want to continue to learn and spend time with her. You know what I mean? Like I think just having a positive influence on your life, or someone who's had a huge impact on your life, when you start to see them decline health wise, or they're not able to do the things that they were able to do anymore, you just realize like, okay, if your days are numbered, and I guess that's like the whole thing I'm trying to get out with that is like, don't wait till you get bad news or wait till something traumatic happens to start living your life the way that you want to do it with the people you want to spend it with. Like every day could be our last. Like I could drop dead sitting here right now. So make the most of the little moments. Like make the most of every single day. And I don't care if it's you pursuing a goal or a career, or you spending time with the people that you want to spend time with. Like just make the most of it, because life in a nutshell is very short, and you don't know how long or how short that's going to be. So just make the most of every single day the way that you would want to do that. And I don't mean like just, man, I'm going to get absolutely hammered every single day. I'm going to get high as fuck today. Like, I'm not saying you can't enjoy life every once in a while from that aspect, but like at least make the most of what you really want to do with your life. Like whether it's a sport, you go as hard as you can. If it's a job that you want, or a career path, or a product that you want to create, like give it your maximum effort to try to do that every single day. Like just live your life to the fullest, doing what you truly want to do in your heart of hearts. And Every time I say heart to farts, I feel like a lot of motherfuckers are like, man, that's so gay. Like, what's he talking about? But, like, it's the truth, especially for guys. Like, everyone's like, oh, you're a pussy, bro. Like, you fucking talk about the things you actually want to do. And it's like, nah, like, actually find what you want to do in life and go get it. Like, go try. Try your best. I think that started when I was in high school, is when people were like, oh, he's a try hard, bro. It's like, you can make fun of that all you want, but, like, how many people just don't try to do something and then live, like, a very, like, sad, pitiful life? Like, I'd much rather just try my best at something than not pursue anything at all and just go through the motions of life. So yeah, that's kind of the lesson I have on here, and that's probably the biggest thing that my grandma has taught me over the years, is just to live from your heart. Like, do what you really want to do in your heart of hearts, and usually things will work out the way that they're supposed to. So I guess that's my little tidbit on here, and that's what I learned from my grandma almost killing me in a car ride. So that's today's episode. Hope everybody's well. Talk sometime. Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get easier? I'll be up and away up the street and play, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see? Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. Ooh, just a little short.